Marquise de Pompadour was born on 29 December 1721 as Jeanne-Antoinette Poisson. She was the official daughter of François Poisson and Madeleine de la Motte. However, it is said that she was the bastard daughter of a tax farmer. His name was Monsieur Lenormand de Toulon. Under his guidance and financial support, Pompadour received, especially for the time, a very good education in dance, singing and playing instruments. It is also he who married her off to his nephew. With her husband she had 2 children, one of whom died soon after birth, and a daughter named Alexandrine. Pompadour was perfectly polished for society and became a very known and very welcome figure in the salons of Paris. It was in 1744 that the scandal of Metz occurred. Louis XV believed himself to be dying, but had to send away his mistress to Metz in order to receive the last sacraments. Louis XV recovered and wanted his mistress to return, but she died before she could do so. Louis XV, with a wife who locked the door for him, was in need of a new mistress. Pompadour, an ambitious young woman who supposedly was told by a fortune teller that she would be the king's mistress one day, saw herself in this position. She frequently attended the king's hunts where she got noticed. Although it is uncertain how they met for the first time, the king fell in love with her in early 1745. The king's affections became ever more notorious on the Yew Tree Ball, where the king, dressed as a tree, was seen to be very intimate with Madame de Pompadour. Louis XV wished to make her his mistress, but there were several problems to be dealt with first. Pompadour was divorced and was given the marquisate of Pompadour. Installed as royal mistress, Pompadour made sure to pay her respect to the queen, and was later also put in her household as Dame du Palais. Soon, however, Pompadour could no longer satisfy Louis's needs. Since the 1750s, she mainly became his friend and confidant. Nonetheless, it was arranged that Louis would have young girls provided for him in a Versailles townhouse. As mistress, Pompadour highly patronized the arts and took great interest in the Enlightenment. She was friends with the famous philosopher Voltaire. She also greatly influenced politics, helping with the establishment of the Austrian alliance and the rise and downfall of ministers. Pompadour was the power behind the throne. Pompadour was often hated and ridiculed because of her politics, but also because of her bourgeois origins. The Marquise had many opponents, most notoriously the king's daughters and politicians. Her last name, Poisson, was often a subject for mockery, as it means fish in French. Pompadour lived the high life as mistress. She spent a lot of money on beautiful things such as art and porcelain, but especially on Rococo architecture and houses. But not even the powerful Pompadour could stop time, and after being the king's mistress for almost 20 years, she was dying. Against all protocol, Madame de Pompadour was granted the honor to die at Versailles, whereas normally this honor was only granted to members of the royal family. She died in the room which is currently known as Madame Adelaide's bedroom on 15 April 1764. Shocking to some, the famous Madame de Pompadour was soon to be forgotten at the court. With her death, the question was who would take Pompadour's place. Her successor would be the infamous Madame du Barry, who became the guardian of those who had opposed Madame de Pompadour.